What you know today is very, very important. But at the same time, who you know and how you are known is very, very critical. Employability in the future of work is all about personal branding and social networking. There was a time when we used to meet people in conferences, in offices, have meals together, and therefore we could bond. And that's how my and Harlina's friendship developed. But now it is very, very different. Today, we are talking about networking in the future of work in the current context of the virtual environment. Of course, when we talk about networking in this country, the first name that comes to mind is Harlina Sodhi. Welcome, Harlina. As most of us know, Harlina is the co-founder of BIY. She is one of the top HR influencers in this part of the world. Earlier, she has been the Chief Culture Officer for IDFC Bank, right, Harlina? And pardon me if you have such a colorful background, illustrious, that I may fumble or forget, so pardon me for that. But I've known Harlina for more than 10 years now, when she was the Senior Vice President at Reliance Industries, and we did some cool work together. Harlina, welcome.
Thank you so much, Shakun. Very happy to be here with you today.
An obvious question is, how does one build social network in this current context of virtual working and virtual work?
So happy to share what I know, Shakun, but I want to start by kind of letting everyone know that networking is more a mindset. Then it is about what values and behaviors you bring to play. And then the last, it's about what capabilities you have in terms of what tools, what platforms, what gadgetry you use. So these three things are important to remember. Why do you want to network? Second, what skills and behaviors and ways of working with other people will you bring to play? And third, what capabilities will you build?
So this is interesting, and tell me more, because tools and gadgets we do understand, and I want to dwell a little deeper into it. But mostly we look up to people who are aspirational, and therefore a lot of us out there carry a paradigm that I'm not equal, or that person is. So when you say it's a give and take, what do you mean by that?
Well, exactly that, Shakun. In the world of networking, you build a stronger network, you build a wider network if you first are a part of a community, and then if you give that community all that you've got, but consistently and persistently, you got to nurture it over a period of time. And somehow, magically, the designations dissolve, the degrees are meaningless. It's really the quality of your connect and the intensity and depth of your commitment to that network that begins to matter. And everyone is an equal.
And I think that's the interesting part about networking, that everybody is equal. And of course, I love what you're just saying, that designations don't matter and boundaries dissolve. Tell me, how does one know whether he or she is adequately networked in the current context?
Okay, I'll talk about 2 or 3 metrics that I have for myself. My number one metric is if I have a strong network, I have given to that network, I should be able to draw from that network. Shakun, as a quick example, if I call you or text you for something, if you don't respond to me within hours and agree to do it, well, that means you're a connect. You're not really my network. You're an acquaintance. So that's one metric I use for myself. The second metric that I use is, what is that network really doing for me? Of course, all that happens after you've done a lot for the network. Is that network giving me legitimacy? If I'm part of a culture network, does it also help me saying, oh, Harlina is also a culture person? Is that network giving me legacy building opportunity? Is that network giving me their brand and a logo association? Is that network giving me business? So these are the 4 metrics that I have for myself to see that the network is a committed network, it's a useful and a meaningful network.
The last point that you touched was very interesting, that is the network also giving me business? And often I see there is a hesitation, once you said it's a friendly relationship, and then comes the professional business dealings. Now, how does one bridge that gap? Where is the tipping point where one could leverage the network for seeking business or getting business?
Okay, so there is no hard line or a boundary there at all, Shakti. We've been talking about work and life as two different entities so far. And the pandemic has taught us or told us that work and life is actually truly integrated from all sense of the word. So is connections from a friend's point of view and a professional point of view. The only point I would make here is that there are boundaries that you maintain in a friend's network and a professional network. They have to be respected, protocols have to be followed. If I'm reaching out to you as a friend, I could text you at 12 midnight and expect you to show up. If I'm texting you to seek a meeting with you or somebody in your company, then I'll follow the protocols, the process, and the right ways of behavior.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important point that you have brought out, Harlina, because I also see often people crossing the limit and boundaries, sometimes getting too friendly, other times being extremely professional as if we are, strangers. And I think the art of networking is all about being able to manage that balance. That's why I call it an art and not just a science or an analytics driven kind of. In fact, I also see technology playing a very, very interesting role these days. What has been your experience of using technology in networking?
Well, a huge role, Shakun. Technology is what has powered and fueled this entire concept of networking. I and some other people like me have been using this technology for nearly 10 years. And when I say technology, it means social media platforms, it means different collaborative platforms, it means different products of learnings, all of that. And we have used it consistently, persistently. We have failed, we have stumbled and fallen, but kept going. And that's really kind of helped us, and we're a little bit ahead of the curve, if I may say so, because we're just okay to experiment and explore and move with it.
Yeah, technology is evolving, and of course, again, as you rightly said, it's not just about having more connections in these social networks, but having more meaningful conversations.
Absolutely, and I like to quote Steve Jobs here, Shakun. I learned this from him in one of his, videos. He says, just keep doing the right thing from a technology standpoint. The dots don't connect in the future. The dots will all connect in the past. It'll all come together.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, talking about connecting the dots, there is a big achievement in terms of being a social influencer. One is being a great networker, which a lot of people out there are, but a very few get elevated to a social influencer. I am going to be very, 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 very demanding of you and ask you, what is the secret sauce, secret recipe of becoming a social influencer?
I'll give you three quick ingredients. Number one, you got to share. You got to share. One, you got to care. That's number two. And the third is you have to be committed to it. And it can take a couple of years, a decade or so, to reach if you've been doing it all right throughout this time. So sharing, caring, commitment, consistency are the 4 words I will leave you with.
Very interesting. So what I hear you say is that it's not just about numbers, it's about the quality of the relationship, it's the dependability, and that all starts with giving first, sharing first, and then if need be, once in a while, testing water if your network is willing to give it back.
Yes, bingo. Absolutely, Shakun. You use the magic word saying testing waters. I use a concept called emotional bank balance.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to make withdrawals in a bank, I need to have credit there, isn't it? So is with a network. I need to make sure there are deposits and there are fixed incomes that I put there and there are SFPs going to be able to make withdrawals when I truly need them. And that is really the secret sauce.
And this today, I think, has been another big deposit that you have made, Harlina, in the community and to all the people. But thank you so much on that note. Have a great evening, and we'll talk soon again.
Yes, thank you so much. Pleasure to have been here. You have a good evening too, Shakun. Bye-bye.